halfway. If you've ever felt like you're slipping, starting over, or always almost making progress, then you need to hear this. These 10 truths will help you build a mindset that doesn't quit, a mindset that keeps going, no matter what. This is your wake-up call. No more delays, no more resets. It's time to learn how to stay consistent for good. Number 1, act now instead of thinking for too long. How many times have you had an idea, a plan, a goal? You sat with it, thought about it, imagined what it would look like, maybe even talked about it with someone, and then nothing. Days passed, weeks passed, and the idea stayed right where it was in your head. That's the first mistake. Overthinking, waiting too long, getting lost in what-if scenarios. It's not action that breaks people, it's hesitation. It's delaying what could have been done today because the mind wants to be 100% certain, fully ready, perfectly clear. But here's the truth. Life doesn't wait for perfect timing. Life rewards action, not planning. If you want to be consistent, really consistent, you've got to move faster than your doubts. The mind is tricky. It'll come up with 1,000 reasons to hold you back. It'll whisper things like just think it through a bit more, or you need more information, or wait until you feel motivated. But motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. What doesn't go away is the power of a small action done right now. Acting now means doing the next real thing, not the big dream, not the perfect version, just the next step. Something small, clear, doable. Something that tells your brain, I'm not sitting around anymore. Because every time you act immediately, you build momentum. And momentum is the secret weapon of consistency. People think consistency is about willpower. It's not. It's about building energy and keeping it moving. And that starts by acting before your brain gets a chance to stop you. You don't need more books. You don't need another course. You don't need to watch 10 more videos. You need to get up and begin. It's the beginning that's tough. Once you start, something changes in you. You go from thinking to becoming. And that change is what transforms people. That's where consistency is born. Don't wait until you feel like doing it. Feelings are not reliable. One day you'll feel excited. The next you'll feel tired. But if you only act when you feel like it, you'll be inconsistent forever. Strong people act regardless of mood. They act because they've decided. They act because they know nothing gets done through wishful thinking. And you've got to reach that place too. You've got to teach yourself that acting now is the rule, not the exception. Not a special day. Not when conditions are right. Right now. Whatever you need to do it today. If it takes 5 minutes, don't stretch it into 5 days. If it's uncomfortable, don't wait until it becomes easy. It won't. Most people give their time away to hesitation. They think about starting the gym, but wait until Monday. They think about fixing their finances, but wait until the next paycheck. They think about building their dream, but wait for support or certainty. And slowly time passes, life passes. Then one day, they look back and wonder why nothing changed. It's because they waited. And waiting is a habit that kills consistency. You've got to rewire that habit. Replace it with something sharper. When a task comes to mind, do it. When something needs to be handled, handle it. Don't negotiate with yourself, because the more you delay, the heavier it feels. And the heavier it feels, the more likely you are to quit. The longer you stare at the mountain, the bigger it looks. So stop staring and start climbing. This is a skill you build over time. You don't have to fix everything today, but you can take one small action today, and that's how it begins. That's how consistent people stay consistent. Not because they have superpowers, but because they've trained themselves to take action first, not second. They don't get caught in the trap of over-preparing. They move. They figure it out on the way. And because they move, they grow. Now here's something most people don't want to hear, but I'm going to say it straight. Thinking too much is a form of fear. It's fear dressed up as logic. It sounds smart. It sounds safe. But it's fear. It's fear of failure. Fear of looking foolish. Fear of the unknown. And if you don't push through it, that fear will own you. You've got to make peace with imperfect starts. Not every action will be smooth. Not every move will work out perfectly. But what's the alternative? Waiting forever? That's not how progress happens. You've got to get used to being uncomfortable and still acting. You've got to get used to not knowing everything and still moving forward. And once you do that, you'll feel it. You'll feel a different kind of power in your life. You'll start trusting yourself more. You'll feel proud, not because everything went right, but because you stopped standing still, because you chose progress over perfection. And that's what keeps people consistent. Not results, not praise, not external rewards, just knowing they did what they said they would do. You need to build that kind of self-respect. You need to be able to look in the mirror and say, I do what I say. I don't overthink. I act. That's where your confidence comes from. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you earn by keeping your word to yourself again and again. Now ask yourself this: how many things are you sitting on right now? Projects, goals, ideas, changes you know you need to make. What's holding them up? Is it really time? Is it really resources? Or is it just hesitation disguised as planning? Be honest with yourself. If something matters to you, prove it with action. Not words, not promises. Action. Do it today. Start now. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's small, even if nobody sees it. That one decision to act now is what puts you in control. It's what separates those who talk about changing from those who actually do. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Every day you act fast, your brain rewires, your self-image changes. You stop being the person who delays. You become the person who moves, and that shift changes everything. So don't wait for the right moment. Don't wait for motivation to hit. The right moment is the one you create, and motivation, it shows up when you do. You start, then motivation follows, not the other way around. Consistency is built in those tiny decisions, not once a month, not once a week, but every day, every moment. Every time you choose action over thought, you take back your power. So right now, today, ask yourself, what have I been delaying? And then go do it. Not later, not after this video, right now. That's how you build a consistent life. That's how you win. Not through talk, not through plans, through action. Immediate action. The kind that rewires your brain and reshapes your life. And if you can learn to act now without waiting, without overthinking, without second guessing, you'll be ahead of 99% of people, because most people wait, but you won't. You'll act, and that's the secret. That's where consistency begins. That's where your life starts to change. Number 2, shut off everything that makes you avoid your work. Most people don't stay consistent because they're constantly distracted. They start something, then shift to something else. They plan their goals, then waste an entire evening doing something that pulls them away from those goals. It's not because they're lazy, it's not because they don't care, it's because their attention is scattered, and they don't realize how damaging that is. If you're serious about staying consistent, then you have to shut off everything that makes you avoid your work. Let's start with the truth. Most distractions aren't accidents. You're not just checking your phone or watching one video because it happens randomly. You're using those things as a way to avoid something. You're using distraction as an escape. And the more you run to those little escapes, the further you get from building a strong life. Your brain learns patterns. When you keep pausing your work to scroll or talk or multitask, you're training your mind to avoid focus. You're telling yourself without even realizing it that real effort can wait. That discipline doesn't need your attention right now. And every time you do that, it gets harder to stay consistent. Because your energy is being pulled in too many directions. Consistency needs full attention, not half, not a few hours a week. It needs your focus every day. Not because you have to be perfect, but because consistency only builds when you stay on the track long enough to see the results. And you can't stay on track if you keep jumping off for distractions that give you nothing. Now think about your life. Look at your day honestly. How many times do you open your phone without purpose? How many times do you sit down to work and then grab the remote? Or scroll through apps, or text someone back just because it buzzed? It seems harmless in the moment, but it adds up, and worse, it breaks your rhythm. Once your focus is gone, it takes time to bring it back. And the more you break your rhythm, the more inconsistent you become. If you want to live a strong life, if you want to build something meaningful, you have to make a decision. That decision is to remove the things that pull you away from your purpose. And it won't happen by accident. You have to be deliberate. You have to look at your day and start cutting things off completely. Not reducing, not limiting, cutting off. That app that eats 2 hours a day, delete it. That friend who calls every time you try to focus, mute the phone. That browser tab you keep open for later, close it. You don't need more willpower. You need fewer temptations. You need a clean space where your mind is not constantly battling noise. Distraction is easy. That's why people keep falling into it. The brain wants comfort. It wants the easy path. But nothing meaningful comes from the easy path. You'll never feel proud of wasting another hour. You'll never feel good about doing less than you're capable of. And deep down, you already know that. It's not about being strict for the sake of being strict. It's about protecting your time like it matters, because it does. It's the one thing you don't get back. And if you don't guard it, others will waste it for you. Your phone, your entertainment, your environment, they're all designed to pull you in. You've got to take that power back. Cutting out distractions doesn't mean living like a monk. It means being aware. It means noticing when your mind is drifting and pulling it back. It means being honest when you're avoiding your work and facing it head on, because that's where strength is built. Not in doing what's easy, but in showing up for what matters. If you're tired of falling behind, if you're tired of being stuck, if you're tired of knowing what to do but not doing it, then the first step is simple. Remove what's pulling you away. Create a space where your goals are louder than your distractions. Turn your phone off for 3 hours. Sit in silence and do your work. Stop responding to every beep and notification like your life depends on it. Because it doesn't. What your life depends on is your ability to take responsibility for your focus. And nobody can do that for you. People waste years waiting for the right time to be productive. But the time is now. The distractions will always be there. The difference is, strong people learn to ignore them. Strong people don't rely on motivation to avoid their phones. They just don't pick them up when it's time to work. Strong people don't negotiate with distraction. They remove it completely. You need to look at your environment like it's a battlefield. Every little distraction is trying to win your attention, and if you don't defend it, you lose. Not just your time, but your momentum, your progress, your growth. That's why staying consistent feels so hard. It's not because you're not capable, it's because you're not fully present. And you can fix that. You can choose to be present, you can choose to shut off the noise, not forever, just long enough to get your work done, just long enough to build something you're proud of. And once you taste that pride, once you see what's possible when your mind is clear, you won't want to go back. You've got to start setting boundaries with yourself. You've got to say, during this time, nothing gets my attention except this. That kind of discipline builds power. It builds confidence. Because now you're not just working harder, you're working smarter. You're building consistency because you're removing the things that ruin it. Every time you shut off a distraction, you're building your discipline muscle. And the stronger that gets, the easier it is to stay on track. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's just daily decisions that you repeat over and over until they become who you are. You have to look at yourself honestly and say, I've wasted enough time avoiding what matters. That's the moment everything shifts. That's when consistency becomes part of you. Not because it's easy, but because you've created an environment where it's possible. You will always be tempted to avoid your work, but you don't have to say yes. You don't have to follow every impulse. You can choose to focus. You can choose to grow. You can choose to become the kind of person who follows through no matter what's happening around them. So the next time you feel that pull to avoid, stop, pause, ask yourself, is this helping me or hurting me? Then make the choice that gets you closer to who you want to be. That one choice, repeated day after day, becomes consistency. And that's how you change your life. Number 3, force yourself to start before your brain resists. Most people wait too long to begin. They sit, they think, they hesitate. And by the time they finally decide to act, their brain has already convinced them to stop. That resistance, it shows up fast. You feel it the moment you consider doing something uncomfortable. That voice in your head tells you it's not the right time, that you need to rest, that you'll do it later. And the more you listen to it, the more control it takes. That's why you need to force yourself to start before that voice even gets a chance to speak. The delay between the moment you think about taking action and the moment you actually move is everything. If you wait too long, the hesitation grows stronger. Your energy starts to shift. What started as a plan turns into doubt. What felt important starts feeling like a burden. You must learn to act before that shift happens. The longer you wait, the more reasons your brain creates to stop you. It becomes a wall that grows taller with every second you sit there doing nothing. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need the perfect mood. You don't need extra time. What you need is a habit of acting right away. You hear the idea, you feel the spark, and you move. You don't give it time to fade. That's the real test of strength. Acting when everything in you says to wait. Starting before your mind gets a chance to slow you down. The people who build things, the ones who move forward in life, they don't act because they always feel like it. They act because they've trained themselves to move quickly. They've stopped waiting for motivation. They've replaced delay with action. That habit is what keeps them consistent. It's not about being fearless. It's about moving through the resistance before it grows strong. The moment you wake up and think about your goal, that's the time to begin. Not an hour later, not when the day feels easier, right then. Because the first few minutes after a decision are when momentum is built. You either take control or your brain will take it from you. The brain isn't trying to hurt you, but it's designed to keep you comfortable. It wants safety. It wants routine. And anything that feels new or hard, it tries to block. It tells you you're tired. It tells you it can wait. It tells you to stay still. You have to stop listening to that. You have to get up while that voice is still forming. You have to start moving before the excuse has a chance to settle in. And once you move, something changes. You shift into a different state. Your body wakes up. Your mind clears. And suddenly, the thing you were resisting doesn't feel as hard anymore. Because the hardest part of anything is starting. If you keep giving yourself time to delay, delay will become your identity. You'll become the person who always plans but rarely acts. and that becomes a habit that's very hard to break. So don't wait, don't think, just begin. Force your body to stand up, force your mind to focus, because in that one act of movement, you're rewriting who you are. Action builds identity. If you keep acting fast, you start to see yourself differently. You stop seeing yourself as someone who procrastinates. You become someone who takes control. And that shift matters, because identity is everything. The more you prove to yourself that you can act immediately, the less you depend on motivation or perfect conditions. You've got to break the pattern of sitting with hesitation. You've got to stop letting your brain talk you out of the things you already decided were important. This is not about being impulsive. It's about being intentional. You already know what needs to be done. You're not confused. You're just letting resistance win. And the only way to defeat it is to move before it fully arrives, even if you don't feel confident, even if the task seems big, even if you're unsure how it will go. Start anyway. Start small. Start sloppy. But start, because once you're in motion, everything becomes clearer. You begin to find your rhythm. You begin to feel capable. And what once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. This is how consistent people win. They beat resistance with action. They don't allow hesitation to take up space. They don't wait for clarity. They act, and then they adjust. And because they act, they stay in motion. That's the like a fresh canvas, and you've got the brush in your hand. And that brush, that's the choices you make. Now the question is, what will you paint? You see, every single day is an opportunity for improvement. It's an opportunity to sharpen your skills, refine your thinking, and elevate your life to a higher level. But it doesn't happen by chance. You have to make it happen. One of the greatest lessons I've learned is this: success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Failure, on the other hand, is simply a few errors in judgment repeated every day. The difference between these two, failure and success, lies in the small things you choose to improve daily. It's not the big changes. It's the little changes, the ones we sometimes overlook, that make the biggest difference over time. I've summed it up to about 10 things that you must improve every day. We're going to cover those 10 areas, but we're going to move through them quickly so we can move on to our goal workshop. Number one, the first thing you must improve daily is your attitude. How powerful your attitude is. Your attitude is the foundation on which your life is built. If you improve it just a little each day, you'll find that it changes everything about your day. Now, you might say, Jim, it's just an attitude. It's just how I feel. Well, I'm telling you, it's not just how you feel. It's how you see the world. It's how you approach problems, how you handle challenges, and how you relate to other people. And it goes both ways. Your attitude is like a magnet. It draws in opportunities, or it pushes them away. Think about this. Have you ever met someone who is always negative? Someone who complains about everything no matter how good life is. Now, how much success do you think they attract with that attitude? Probably not much. And that's because their negative attitude creates a barrier to opportunities. On the other hand, someone with a positive attitude attracts opportunities like a magnet. People want to be around them. They want to work with them. They want to help them. They want to see them succeed. So if you improve your attitude just a little every day, maybe you work on being a little more optimistic. Maybe you work on being a little more patient. You'll find that doors start to open that you never even knew were there. Now, here's something to think about. Your attitude doesn't change overnight. It's a slow and steady process. You improve it bit by bit, day by day. Maybe today you focus on being a little more grateful. Tomorrow you focus on being a little more resilient. The next day, you focus on finding solutions instead of dwelling on problems. Each day, you add a small brick to the foundation of a better attitude. And before you know it, you've built something strong and lasting. And I'm telling you, when your attitude improves, everything else starts to improve with it. Your relationships, your work, your health, everything. Next, you must work on your communication skills every day. This is a huge factor in how successful you become. Why? Because everything in life involves communication. Whether you're talking to a friend, making a business deal, or simply interacting with your family, communication is at the heart of it all. And the better you are at communicating, the better your relationships will be, the better your business will run, and the more influence you'll have in your community. Now, let me clarify something. Communication isn't just about talking. In fact, some of the best communicators don't talk that much at all. They listen. They listen carefully. They listen with empathy. They listen to understand, not just to respond. You see, good communication is a two-way street. It's about expressing your ideas clearly and understanding the ideas of others. And you can improve this every day. Maybe today, you work on being a better listener. Tomorrow, you practice getting your point across without being aggressive. The day after that, you work on finding the right words to express how you feel. Each day, you chip away at the rough edges of your communication style, and you become someone who people want to listen to. And here's the real power of it. When you communicate better, you influence more. You lead better. You inspire others to take action. Tell me, have you ever had a misunderstanding with someone because of poor communication? Maybe you thought they meant one thing, but they meant something completely different. And that little misunderstanding led to a big problem. Now imagine if you improved your communication just a little every day. How many of those misunderstandings could you avoid? How many conflicts could you resolve? How much more trust could you build in your relationships? It's worth thinking about, isn't it? Next, you must improve your self-discipline every day. It's crucial. You see, self-discipline is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments. It's the ability to keep going when you don't feel like it. It's the ability to do what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable. And here's the truth. Without self-discipline, success is impossible. You might have the best goals in the world, the most brilliant ideas, and all the talent you could ask for. But if you don't have the discipline to follow through, none of that matters. Self-discipline is like a muscle. The more you work on it, the stronger it gets. And you can improve it a little every day. Maybe today you discipline yourself to wake up 15 minutes earlier. Tomorrow you discipline yourself to exercise even if you don't feel like it. The next day you discipline yourself to stay focused on your work without getting distracted. Each of these little acts of discipline may seem small, but when you add them up over time, they create massive results. Now here's something to think about. Self-discipline isn't just about willpower. It's about creating habits. You see, when you make something a habit, it no longer requires as much discipline. It becomes automatic. So part of improving your self-discipline is building habits that support your goals. For example, if you make it a habit to read 10 pages of a good book every day, you don't have to rely on willpower to learn and grow. The habit takes over, and your discipline becomes effortless. I once knew a young man who was incredibly talented. He had all the potential in the world, but he lacked discipline. He would start projects with great enthusiasm, but he would never finish them. He'd get distracted by the next shiny object, the next new idea, and leave the old one behind. As a result, he never made any real progress. One day I sat down with him and I told him, "You've got to work on your discipline. You've got to train yourself to stick with something until it's done. Even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when you don't feel like it." And you know what? He took that advice to heart. He started small, just finishing one little project at a time. And over time, he developed the discipline to follow through on the big things. Today, he's incredibly successful, and he'll tell you that self-discipline was the key to it all. Another way to improve your mindset is to challenge your limiting beliefs. You see, many of us are held back not by external circumstances, but by the beliefs we hold about ourselves and the world. We think we can't do something because we've never done it before, or because someone told us we're not good enough. But those beliefs are just thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. So each day, work on replacing those limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," think, "I'm learning how to do this." Instead of thinking, "I'll never be successful," think, "I'm on the path to success." Each day you improve your mindset just a little, and over time you'll find that your entire outlook on life changes. I once knew a man who struggled with his mindset. He was constantly focused on the negatives in life. He saw every obstacle as insurmountable, every failure as final. As a result, he was stuck. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't move forward. One day I sat down with him and I told him, "You've got to work on your mindset. You've got to stop focusing on what's wrong and start focusing on what's possible." He took that advice to heart. He started small, reading a few pages of an uplifting book each morning, practicing gratitude each night, and slowly shifting his focus from problems to solutions. Over time, his mindset transformed, and so did his life. He became more confident, more resilient, and more successful. And it all started with the daily practice of improving his mindset. Next, time management. We have to pay close attention to time. It's the one resource we all have the same amount of, but how we use it makes all the difference. You see, time is precious, and once it's gone, you can never get it back. So if you want to achieve great things in life, you've got to learn how to manage your time wisely. And the good news is, time management is something you can improve every day. Maybe today, you work on setting clearer priorities. Tomorrow, you focus on eliminating distractions. The next day, you practice saying no to things that don't align with your goals. Each small improvement in how you manage your time adds up. And before you know it, you're getting more done in less time. And you're focusing on the things that truly matter. Tell me, how often do you find yourself busy but not productive? How often do you spend your time on things that don't really move the needle while the important tasks get pushed to the side? You see, being busy is not the same as being productive. And that's why improving your time management is so crucial. It's about focusing on the right things at the right time in the right way. One of the best ways to improve your time management is to start your day with a plan. Take a few minutes each morning to map out your priorities for the day. What are the most important things you need to accomplish? What can you delegate or eliminate? And here's the key. Don't just plan your work, plan your breaks too. You see, rest is just as important as action. If you don't take time to recharge, you'll burn out. So make sure that you're managing your time in a way that includes both productivity and rest. I've worked with many people over the years who struggled with time management. They'd tell me, Jim, I just don't have enough time to get everything done. And I'd tell them, you've got exactly the same amount of time as everyone else. It's not about having more time. It's about using the time you have more effectively. So if you want to improve your life, start by improving how you manage your time. It's a daily practice. And with each day that you get a little better, you'll find that your life starts to fall into place more smoothly. Next, every day you must build and improve your knowledge. Now I'm telling you, the world is constantly changing. And if you're not learning, you're falling behind. The more you know, the more you can do. The more you can do, the more value you can bring to the marketplace. And the more value you bring, the more rewards you receive. So if you want to stay ahead in life, you've got to improve your knowledge every single day. How do you do that? Simple. Read, listen, study. Every day, commit to learning something new. Maybe today, you read an article about your industry. Tomorrow, you listen to a seminar about personal development. The next day, you take a course to improve your skills. Each small investment in learning adds up. You'll find that you're more knowledgeable, more skilled, and more prepared for whatever life throws your way. And here's the thing. Learning doesn't stop when you leave school. In fact, that's when the real learning begins. You see, formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. The most successful people in the world are lifelong learners. They never stop improving their knowledge because they know that the more they learn, the more they can achieve. Mr. Schoaf was one of the smartest men I've ever met, but he didn't become that way by chance. He became that way by dedicating himself to learning every day. He told me once, Jim, the more you learn, the more you earn. And I took that to heart. I started reading, listening to tapes, attending seminars, anything I could do to improve my knowledge. And you know what? Mr. Schoaf was right. The more I learned, the more opportunities came my way. And the same will be true for you. Next, there is never a good day to neglect your finances. You see, your financial situation is not just something that happens to you. It's something you create. And just like any other area of life, it requires daily attention and improvement. Whether you're trying to get out of debt, build wealth, or simply create more financial security, it starts with making small, consistent improvements every day. Now here's the truth. Most people don't really understand money. They know how to earn it, but they don't know how to manage it. And as a result, they find themselves constantly struggling, no matter how much they make. But here's the good news. You can improve your financial situation a little bit each day. Maybe today, you start by tracking your expenses so you know where your money is going. Tomorrow, you create a simple budget to make sure you're living within your means. The next day, you start setting aside a small percentage of your income for savings or investments. Each of these small steps adds up, and before you know it, you'll find that your finances are under control and growing. I'm telling you, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep. You see, some people make a lot of money, but they spend it just as fast as they earn it. They live paycheck to paycheck, always on the edge of financial trouble. But others who make less are able to save, invest, and build wealth because they've learned the principles of financial management. And those principles can be learned by anyone. You don't have to be a financial expert to improve your finances. You just need to make small, smart decisions every day. One of the best pieces of financial advice I ever received was this: spend less than you earn and invest the rest. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. If you live by that principle every day, your financial future will be secure. But here's the key. It requires discipline. It requires the willingness to delay gratification. It requires you to say no to unnecessary expenses today so that you can say yes to financial freedom tomorrow. And that's something you can improve every day. Your ability to make smart financial decisions, to manage your money wisely, and to invest in your future. Tell me, have you ever looked at your bank statement and wondered, where did all my money go? That's a sign that it's time to start improving your financial habits. It's time to take control of your money instead of letting it control you. And it doesn't take huge changes, just small, consistent improvements. Next, personal development. Here's the key. Life is about growth. If you're not growing, you're standing still. And if you're standing still, you're falling behind. So every day, you've got to work on becoming a better version of yourself. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about constantly improving who you are, how you think, and what you do. Personal development is a lifelong journey, and it's one that you can't afford to ignore. Maybe today you work on improving your self-awareness, understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, your habits, and your tendencies. Tomorrow you work on developing a new skill, something that will help you in your career or personal life. The next day you focus on improving your emotional intelligence, learning how to manage your emotions and relate better to others. Each of these small improvements contributes to your overall growth, and over time, you'll find that you've become the person you always knew you could be. One of the best things you can do for your personal development is to set goals. Clear, specific goals that challenge you to grow. But here's the key. Those goals must be aligned with your values, your passions, and your purpose. You see, it's not just about achieving more, it's about becoming more. It's about becoming the kind of person who can achieve those goals. And that's something you can work on every day. Maybe today you set a goal to read one chapter of a personal development book. Tomorrow, you set a goal to practice a new habit for 10 minutes. The next day, you set a goal to reflect on your progress and adjust your course as needed. Each of these small actions moves you forward on your journey of personal growth. Now, here's something important to understand. Personal development isn't just about learning new things. It's also about unlearning the things that no longer serve you. Sometimes, in order to grow, you've got to let go of old habits, old beliefs, and old ways of thinking that are holding you back. That's why personal development is an ongoing process. You're constantly learning, growing, and evolving. And the more you commit to that process, the more you'll find that your life improves in every area. One of the most powerful lessons I've learned about personal development is this: you attract what you become. If you want to attract success, you must become successful in your habits, in your thinking, and in your actions. If you want to attract great relationships, you must become the kind of person who is worthy of great relationships. If you want to attract abundance, you must develop an abundant mindset. And that's something you can work on every day. You can become more disciplined, more focused, more positive, and more successful by improving yourself just a little each day. Next, your purpose. This one is so important. You see, purpose gives your life direction. It's the reason you get up in the morning, the thing that drives you to keep going even when things get tough. And here's the key: you've got to work on your purpose every day. You got to constantly refine it, deepen it, and live it out in everything you do. Now, some people will say, Jim, I don't know what my purpose is. And that's okay. You see, purpose isn't something you find all at once. It's something you discover and develop over time. And you can improve it a little every day. Maybe today you spend some time reflecting on what's truly important to you. Tomorrow you take a small step in the direction of your dreams. The next day,